Let's talk Warriors versus Rockets. Game one, the final score was 95-85. In a day with nothing but blowouts, I want to say thank you to the Warriors and the Rockets for giving us something to talk about. Because damn it, I didn't know if I was going to have a video. What much can I say about OKC putting the smackdown on the Grizzlies? Or Ty Jerome, shout out to Ty Jerome, doing that thing against the Miami Heat. Or the Orlando Magic scoring 85 points or 86 points. Hey, they didn't score the least amount of points on the day. 85 for the Houston Rockets. This is great. But this game gave me everything. Everything. If you go back and listen to the podcast and everything, there were a few different points that I had, like what I'm going to be looking forward to, not just for game number one for the entirety of the season. It was the offensive rebound, it was the turnover battle, and it was the others. And I think that we saw or got a real glimpse of what this series could potentially be from all three fronts. Before we even get to that, this is a shot at my old heads. For the old timers. I know it's not a lot of y'all watching these videos that hate modern basketball. Too many threes, not enough defense. I hope you watch game one of this one. 95-85. Two of the best defensive teams in the league just hitting each other over and over again. Great defensive game plan on both sides. If you want to see 2003 offense, damn it, go watch the Houston Rockets play in the half court. It's ugly. So the old heads, y'all better pack it up. Or no, just keep watching because this was a really, really good game, regardless of what the final score says. So let's take it step at a time, one step at a time. Start off with the offensive rebound. As you know, the Warriors are the favorite going into the series. They take game one in Houston, which is huge. But if I was saying on my podcast, if the Houston Rockets want to win this game or win this series, they had to really dominate the offensive glass. And they did. I thought it was really funny that you got the double big lineup of Shingo and Steven Adams, something they've been running for the last couple months, and it's been hella effective. Like the plus minus in the regular season was ridiculous. I don't know what it ended up being tonight necessarily. I thought it was really funny that Steve Kerr was like, y'all gonna run big? We gonna run big. Hey, Post. Hey, Looney, get in the game. And I just looked it up when it happened. Kevon Looney and Quentin Post played a total of 1 minute together in the regular season. 1 minute. And Steve Kerr was like, we gonna play big with big. And it didn't really matter either way. But the offensive rebounding was one of the reasons why the Houston Rockets were able to come back into this game. Even though it ended up being a 10-point game and a low-scoring game, the Warriors were up by 23 points with 6 minutes and 52 seconds left in this game. And then we saw a couple double-digit to like 3 runs for the Houston Rockets. And a lot of that was offensive rebounding. You got to give credit to Steven Adams, who played huge minutes. I know plus minus don't tell you the full story of the game, but he is the only person for the Houston Rockets to have a positive plus minus today. You got to give a lot of credit to I always do that. Amen Thompson, who was killing the glass. Jabari Smith Jr. only finished with 2 offensive boards, but I promise you some of them he probably didn't get credit for, but just making it so that like everybody knows going into the series, the Rockets can't score in the half court. The advantage that they have is running these big lineups or running these super athletic lineups, punching the ball out, and hopefully that leads to an open 3. Punch the ball out, and maybe that just gets into the hand of Steven Adams for it to go straight up. Like the half-court offense is awful. So the offensive rebounding was going to be amazing. Though it has to be amazing. And when I said that on the podcast, they're like, hey, Warriors says like, hey, Kenny, our rebounding has got so much better since the Jimmy Butler trade, and it has. But it wasn't just about who you are as a Warriors. It was about who the Rockets are as a team and how big they play on a nightly basis. So the offensive rebound battle was 22 while the Warriors got 6. Second chance points was 22-12. That is where they should be holding their hat, and they did. But it didn't matter because the opposite side of the thing was the turnovers. If I was saying if you are the Houston Rockets, you cannot lose the turnover battle to the Golden State Warriors. One thing about the Warriors, they turn the ball over a lot, but that had shifted a little bit since they got Jimmy Butler on the team. Tonight, total turnovers for the Warriors was 11, and the total turnovers for the Rockets was 16. When the Rockets went on their run, that was when they got a shot up on the glass every single possession. Just no turnovers. Just getting a shot up. We know we're going to rebound well. Just get a shot up. Some of the turnovers that we saw from the Houston Rockets were just like bonehead turnovers. I saw Amen Thompson just trying to hit a move, failed. Turnover. Same thing with Tari Eason. You know, they know that they're not a good half-court team, so they try to get out and running. And there was one time with Tari Eason's just trying to get out and run. You throw the pass up, turnover. You cannot lose the turnover battle to a team that is more experienced and more well-equipped than you are. And that is what happened today. The Warriors were everywhere. I mean, like I said, these are 2 of the best defensive teams in the league just clawing at each other. And the turnover battle mattered a ton. The last thing going into the series what I thought was going to be really interesting, not just for the Houston Rockets, but for both of these teams. And I was looking at it, I guess my lens was just different across both teams. Where when I was thinking about the Houston Rockets, I was like, hey, this is what the Rockets need to do to win this series. And for the Warriors, I was like, this is what the Warriors need to do to win the championship, right? I think we got different scales of what the ceiling of both of these teams are. And the last thing was the others. You know who Steph Curry is, damn it. He got you 35, 6, and 3. And he only missed 7 shots. One gripe before we get to the others. Steph Curry hit a shot. And I think Harlan McCall says, geometrically, that shot had no business going in or something along those lines. And then later in the game, Şengün hit a very similar shot, and he was not glazed like that. What's up? No, Steph Curry deserves all the glaze in the world. But I thought Şengün hit a super tough shot too, and they was like, Şengün, step back 3. Like, no, brother, that was a two hands in his face, and that's not even really a 3-point shooter. Glaze him. But no, we know who Steph Curry is as a player. Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler is one of my favorites of all time. I will tell you, I'm being honest with you, just a little bit of skepticism going into the play and everything, because even after he got traded to the Warriors and everything was looking great, there were a few games where Jimmy Butler still took 7 shots. And I'm like, Jimmy, if y'all are going to win a championship, you're going to win some postseasons, you cannot end a game with 7 shot attempts. And over the last, 3 games when it really has mattered, Jimmy Butler's been phenomenal. Y'all don't got to worry about those 7 total shot attempts. It was 25, 7, 6, and 5 steals. 5 steals for him. So you know what you're getting from the top end talent on their side. Hell, Alperen Şengün on the other side, the all-star for the Houston Rockets. Phenomenal game. 26-9. I wish he would have got that 10th rebound. I ain't gonna lie. I had a little, you know what I'm saying? I wish he would have got that 10th rebound, but it is what it is. It was the others. Who's gonna step up for the Warriors? Pods had a good game. Draymond had a very good defensive game. Undersized, but very good defensive game. But, didn't feel like I got a lot from Gary. Didn't feel like I got a lot from Moses Moody. I mean, Moses Moody did hit one of the biggest shots where the Houston Rockets were on their run. I think that was his first made shot of the game. So, he hit a timely basket, but I feel like I didn't get a lot from him. Didn't get anything from Buddy Hield in his 15 minutes. Didn't get anything from Santos. I didn't get anything from Pope. Well, I can take that back from Santos. I actually enjoyed this game. I didn't get anything from Post. I didn't get anything from Looney. So it's really about the others. The Warriors can win this series without the others stepping up. I truly do believe that. But the next series, if I'm not even saying that this is over for the Rockets fans. I promise I ain't counting you out. But next series, that might be the Lakers. That might be the Wolves. You can't do that. So you need some of the others to really step up. On the other side of things, it was the Şengün's show. I mean, Dylan Brooks kind of cheated. He had a shot with 6 seconds to go. Let me turn this TV off. It's bothering me. He had a shot with 6 seconds to go to make him get over 10 points. But other than that, it was Fred VanVleet who had an awful shooting night. It was Jabari, who I want to give a lot of credit to, because Jabari was a lot of heart, a lot of hustle, and hit a couple big shots when they were on that run. But that's it. Jalen Green, 3 of 15, 0 for 4 from 3. And it got so bad at one point that I'm not even big into whole body language and stuff like that, where Jalen Green took a couple shots and Alperen Şengün shrunked his shoulders. And that's one of the Şengün things that I dislike. But, it's basketball. A lot of people complain about stuff. Şengün is one of those type of dudes as well, where Jalen Green mid-range pull-up shot miss, and Şengün's he's defeated by it a little bit. And I've always given Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet on this team somewhat of a pass when it comes to efficiency, because, like I mentioned, the half-court offense, for what it is awful, right? And because it is awful, sometimes they get to 6 seconds, 4 seconds on the shot clock, and they're like, somebody got to save us. And a lot of times they're asking Jalen Green. A lot of times they're asking Fred VanVleet to shoot a 32-foot three-pointer. Somebody need to save them. I don't feel like that was the case today for Jalen Green. I genuinely do believe that he just struggled from the field. I thought that the Warriors did a great job closing up all his driving lanes. He had a couple good finishes throughout this one, but closing up all of his driving lanes, preventing him from getting to the free throw line, which is something that he's been better at throughout the course of his career. And they pretty much shut him down completely. And if the Rockets want to win some games here, their number one scorer by points per game can't end up with 7 points. They put the graphic on the board. I didn't even realize that this is his 5th straight game where he didn't score double-digit points. It's kind of unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things. You saw the youth from this team. You saw the youth from this team very early on. Eventually, they got their kinks out of there, and then eventually they, start to go on their runs. But early, it was some bad turnovers, some missed passes. Şengün again did his best with using his size to his advantage, and he's got such a good touch around the rim that it's even if Draymond Green is playing great defense on him straight up, it's going to shoot over you time and time again. And I did believe that they kind of got away from Şengün a little bit later in this game. I don't have his exact shooting logs, but I feel like he didn't get enough touches down the stretch. But again, I might be just grasp it for reasons and things to talk about, I guess. But it really was offensive rebounding, and this is what scares me a little bit from the Rockets because you killed the glass so much, right? Like your size is going to be your size, right? That's not going away anytime soon. But I wonder if the Warriors are going to have anything to kind of negate the offensive rebound. You won that battle. You did you didn't win the turnover battle, but you got an adequate amount of turn. It's just like that was a game that if you're the Rockets, I know at one point you're down by 23, but you feel like you schematically did the right stuff, but you weren't able to completely execute. They couldn't hit threes, and that's just Rockets ball. You know what I'm saying? 20%. I thought they even did a pretty decent job of like, I can't say containing Steph because he did over 31, but like Steph hit some ridiculous shots. He saw Amin Thompson, he saw Fred VanVleet, he saw Dylan Brooks, he saw Tari Eason, he saw pretty much he saw a gauntlet of talent defensively. And it didn't matter. It's a little scary. You know, one of the reasons why people are optimistic about the Rockets are like, oh, just last week when they played, Steph Curry ended up with 3 total points. Yeah, Steph Curry's really good. It's kind of hard to prevent him from having great games. It's an all-timer, you know? So I don't know how to feel about the series going forward. I hope that it's a long series because I really did enjoy the defensive battle. I really did enjoy seeing the different schemes that the Houston Rockets threw at Steph Curry and him still just blowing them up time and time again. And I wonder if Ime, because 20 minutes with Steven Adams is more than I expected. I'll tell you that much. But I wonder if that number increases more for game number 2 because he was such a menace on the glass. And he's so strong. At one point, it was a free throw from Jalen Green. And Steven Adams just straight up threw Quentin Post on the floor. Just threw him on the floor. He's just the strongest man alive. I feel like I may be forgetting some stuff, but Jimmy Butler amazing. Draymond Green was really good defensively. Steph Curry was amazing. And they walked out of there with a win. And taking a win on the road, I ain't got to explain this to you, it's fucking big. These are my daughter's shoes. It's so big in winning a series like this. So I can't wait for the next game, which is going to be on Thursday? No, Wednesday. All right. I can't wait. Shout out to them for saving this day because one thing I was thinking about as the Thunder got to let me see, what was their biggest lead of the game? When the Thunder got to the point where they were up by 56, I was thinking that because of the play-in, stuff like this might happen somewhat often, where day 1 of the playoffs is electric, it's fun because we got the 4-5 matchup and the 3-6 matchup, and then day number 2 might be like this because now you got the 1-8s, and historically, 1-8s are usually 5-4 game series, and you got the 2-7s, and again, historically. So, yeah, we might get to see this second day of the postseason be ass, and we just have to live with it. Just got to live with it.